Hey guys, my name is Steve, and today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. Today, our focus shifts to a noteworthy incident that unfolded in Minnesota in 2013. Kyra Steger, a dedicated 30-year-old store clerk at a clothing outlet within the Mall of America, exhibited a strong passion for her work, rarely missing a shift. However, concern arose among her colleagues when she failed to report for duty on February 23, 2013. Despite attempts to reach out to Kyra via calls and texts, she remained unreachable, prompting her coworkers to escalate the matter to the authorities, who promptly initiated a search upon learning of her disappearance. Kyra K. Steger entered this world on November 19, 1982, the cherished daughter of Marcy and Jay Steger. Her parents lovingly described her as a vibrant, devoted, and affectionate soul. Kyra's professional journey led her to the bustling halls of the Mall of America, where she served at two esteemed stores, Wet Seal and more recently, Delia's. Within these retail realms, her co-workers transcended mere colleagues, evolving into a tight-knit family unit bound by camaraderie and mutual respect. Kyra possessed a remarkable knack for discerning others' hidden strengths, often unveiling potential they themselves had yet to recognize. With an unwavering optimism, she meticulously crafted plans for a future brimming with promise and tranquility. Tragically, these aspirations were abruptly shattered when Kyra inexplicably vanished, leaving behind a void of unanswered questions and shattered dreams. On the fateful Thursday of February 21, 2013, Kyra dutifully attended her shift at work. According to her colleagues, she exuded positivity and excitement, looking forward to a delightful evening at a fine restaurant with her husband following the store's closure. Kyra and Jeffrey Trevino's love story began 3 years prior, igniting a passionate flame that culminated in the sacred bond of marriage. While occasional disagreements may have surfaced in their relationship, they maintained a facade of happiness and stability to the outside world, shielding any troubles within the confines of their personal sphere. However, the idyllic facade shattered on Saturday, February 23rd, when Kyra failed to appear for work, sparking concern among her co-workers who recognized her punctuality as a hallmark of her character. Alarmed by her absence, they reached out to Jeffrey, only to discover he too was unaware of her whereabouts. Jeffrey recounted Kyra's departure from their home the morning prior, a routine occurrence that typically didn't elicit concern as she occasionally sought solace elsewhere for a day or two, unbeknownst to her acquaintances. Yet, the severity of the situation was compounded by the adverse weather conditions that day, with heavy snowfall blanketing the region. Jeffrey speculated on the possibility of Kyra encountering difficulties on her journey, such as her car becoming stranded or her cell phone succumbing to battery depletion. Despite his attempts to rationalize the situation, a palpable sense of unease pervaded the air, signaling the beginning of a harrowing ordeal for Kyra's loved ones. On that same disquieting day, Jeffrey, bereft of any communication from his beloved wife, took decisive action by filing a missing persons report and reaching out to Kyra's concerned family. The abrupt and unexplained absence of their cherished family member dealt a devastating blow to Kyra's relatives, plunging them into a state of disbelief and distress. With the missing persons report in hand, detectives swiftly initiated their investigation, adhering to the customary protocol of scrutinizing the spouse and scouring the immediate vicinity for clues. Unsurprisingly, the detectives' initial inquiries led them to Jeffrey's doorstep, where he cooperated with their line of questioning. Jeffrey recounted the events of that Thursday, detailing a seemingly ordinary evening spent in the company of his wife, dining, engaging in conversation, and enjoying a game of bowling before departing the mall together. According to Jeffrey's narrative, they proceeded directly home, with Kyra expressing a desire to unwind by watching a movie. The following day, a Friday, Kyra ostensibly left for work as per her routine, seemingly unperturbed by any underlying issues, as Jeffrey attested. Despite acknowledging the occasional absences that punctuated their relationship, Jeffrey remained unperturbed, considering them mere fluctuations in the fabric of their domestic life. He acknowledged the existence of minor discord in their relationship over recent months, but downplayed its significance, attributing it to the common trials encountered in any familial dynamic. Nonetheless, the presence of unresolved tension cast a shadow of doubt over the otherwise serene facade of their marital union, leaving investigators to sift through the complexities of their personal lives in search of answers. The detective probing Jeffrey about potential lodgings for Kyra or the existence of a clandestine lover was met with staunch denial. In Jeffrey's earnest words, his devotion to Kyra ran deep, grounded in unwavering trust and affection. Following their interrogation, the investigators diligently relayed all gleaned information regarding Kyra and her vehicle to the on-duty patrols, bolstering the search efforts. Meanwhile, the detective team embarked on a first-hand investigation at the Mall of America, seeking to corroborate Jeffrey's narrative and, ideally, unearth any clues that might elucidate Kyra's inexplicable disappearance. Their mission was twofold: to validate the credibility of Jeffrey's statements and to glean any potential leads that could steer the investigation toward resolution. When detectives sought to ascertain Kyra's whereabouts on February 21st, they meticulously scrutinized the footage from that day. Their investigation revealed nothing unusual. Jeffrey's account aligned with the surveillance, confirming that he and Kyra spent time together at the mall without incident. Subsequently, they left the premises together, peacefully concluding their evening without any notable altercation. However, hidden within the labyrinth of footage, a subtle anomaly caught the detectives' attention, an inconspicuous moment where Jeffrey appeared to glance nervously at a particular camera before escorting Kyra towards the parking lot. This fleeting gesture, seemingly innocuous at first glance, sparked a new line of inquiry, hinting at the possibility of a concealed motive or hidden agenda. The agonizing uncertainty of not knowing Kyra's whereabouts weighed heavily on her family, their anxiety intensifying with each passing day. Frustrated by the lack of progress and weary of waiting, Kyra's loved ones took matters into their own hands, embarking on a journey to Bloomington to assist in the investigation. Armed with flyers bearing Kyra's image, they plastered them on lampposts and distributed them to pedestrians, hoping to rally the community's support in the search for their missing relative. Each step they took felt like a desperate plea for answers, their hearts heavy with worry yet fueled by determination. Understanding that passive waiting yielded no results, they resolved to exhaust every avenue in their quest to bring Kyra home. Every interaction, every conversation held the potential to uncover a clue, and they refused to rest until they had explored every lead, leaving no stone unturned in their relentless pursuit of truth and closure. Simultaneously, investigators pressed forward with their inquiry. During interviews with neighbors, a surveillance camera caught their attention, its view partially encompassing Kyra and Jeffrey's residence. Recognizing the potential value of this footage, authorities requested a copy from the homeowner, hopeful that it might yield vital clues. Meanwhile, a breakthrough emerged from the cell phone company's records, revealing another significant figure in Kyra's life, Ryan Wendt. As the manager of one of the stores where Kyra worked, Ryan shared a profound and frequent correspondence with her, indicative of a deep and complex relationship. Detectives learned that Ryan had left the state during the ongoing search for Kyra, heading towards Colorado in his car. His sudden departure, coinciding with Kyra's disappearance, thrust him into the spotlight of the investigation. The timing of Ryan's relocation raised suspicion among investigators. Was it merely a fortuitous coincidence, or did it conceal something more sinister? With the pieces of the puzzle slowly falling into place, it fell upon the diligent efforts of law enforcement to unravel the truth behind Kyra's baffling disappearance. Despite initial suspicions surrounding Ryan Wendt's sudden departure from the state, detectives managed to track him down and secure his cooperation for questioning in Colorado. During the interrogation, Ryan disclosed that he had last communicated with Kyra via text messages while driving through South Dakota shortly before her disappearance. Scrutinizing the timing of these messages, investigators pieced together a timeline indicating that Kyra had been in contact with Ryan even as she dined with her husband. The content of their exchanges hinted at a growing emotional distance between Kyra and Jeffrey. To corroborate Ryan's alibi, investigators meticulously examined his phone records and credit card statements, revealing that he was indeed out of state on the evening in question, effectively eliminating him as a suspect. With Ryan cleared of any involvement, attention shifted to unraveling the mystery surrounding Kyra's sudden silence after 11:44 p.m., when communication with Ryan ceased and her phone fell silent. Meanwhile, another team of investigators prepared to analyze the surveillance footage captured by Kyra's neighbor's camera. However, their efforts were hindered by the camera's rapid rotation, which made it challenging to observe the footage effectively. The glimpse of Jeffrey and Kyra's home captured by the neighbor's camera was fleeting, the view abruptly shifting before any significant details could be discerned. Jeffrey maintained that after their evening of dining and bowling, they returned home, where they watched a movie before retiring for the night. However, upon closer examination of the video footage, investigators noted a peculiar occurrence. Kyra's car backing into the yard around 2 a.m., only to depart shortly thereafter. The grainy quality of the footage and the camera's constant movement made it challenging to ascertain the exact sequence of events during that time. The fleeting glimpse of Jeffrey and Kyra's residence lasted only a matter of seconds, obscured by the camera's shift to the right. Jeffrey's account detailed a mundane evening of dining, bowling, watching a film, and retiring to bed upon returning home with Kyra. However, upon scrutiny of the video feed, investigators discerned Kyra's car reversing into the yard around 2 a.m., though a poor footage. However, it wasn't until Monday, February 25th, that a pivotal call jolted the investigation forward. A report of a suspicious vehicle near the shopping center where Kyra worked. Security personnel patrolling the multi-story parking lots had noticed a car lingering for several days and, deeming it suspicious, called for a tow truck. Upon closer inspection, the tow truck driver stumbled upon red smudges adorning the trunk lid, prompting an immediate call to the authorities. To their dismay, the vehicle in question turned out to be Kyra's white Chevy, and though the bloodstains were minimal, their presence signaled a grim turn of events. Yet, amidst the sorrow and uncertainty, one thing remained clear. Kyra's life, filled with love and promise, had been tragically cut short, leaving behind a void that could never be filled. Quality and constant camera movement rendered the precise events indiscernible. Shortly after, the vehicle departed from their premises. Jeffrey explained this late-night excursion as a task delegated by Kyra to refuel her car before her morning commute. Subsequent verification revealed his presence at the gas station around 3:30 a.m., corroborating his alibi. Yet, investigators uncovered a discrepancy. Jeffrey did not return home after refueling, but instead veered towards the highway, his subsequent destination shrouded in ambiguity. Although the neighbor's camera failed to capture Jeffrey's return, its erratic rotation rendered the possibility of his arrival at a later hour conceivable. Upon closer examination, it was noted that Kyra's Chevrolet departed at 9:21 a.m., leaving the driver's identity elusive, much to the investigators' frustration. As they delved deeper into the perplexing case, every detail became crucial. The erratic camera movements, the unexplained deviations from Jeffrey's alibi, and the mysterious departure of Kyra's car all pointed towards a tangled web of deceit and betrayal. Each piece of evidence served as a breadcrumb, leading the investigators closer to unraveling the truth behind Kyra's disappearance and the sinister events that unfolded in its wake. Kyra's loved ones found themselves engulfed in a relentless tide of anguish, the absence of her body intensifying their grief as they grappled with the profound weight of sorrow without the solace of her physical presence. Her whereabouts remained a haunting enigma, amplifying the emotional turmoil for those left behind. Meanwhile, detectives shifted their focus to uncovering the identity of the individual responsible for abandoning Kyra's vehicle in the desolate parking lot. Piecing together the timeline revealed a stark narrative. Kyra's car departed from her home precisely at 9:21 a.m., and approximately 20 minutes later, surveillance footage from the mall documented its arrival. Though the parking lot itself was devoid of cameras, a crucial recording from a nearby pathway unveiled a hooded figure emerging shortly after the white Chevrolet's arrival. Initially, the hooded attire elicited little suspicion given the brisk weather, but detectives remained vigilant in tracing the mysterious figure's movements. Following his trajectory, they observed him crossing the street and engaging in a brief exchange with a taxi driver at a nearby stand before boarding the cab and departing. Leveraging the timestamps, authorities swiftly identified the taxi company servicing the shopping center's vicinity. With the aid of GPS tracking embedded in the cabs, they pinpointed the exact vehicle involved in the encounter. Subsequent investigation unveiled that the hooded figure's journey concluded just a block away from Kyra and Jeffrey's residence, where he disembarked after settling the fare with cash. As the cab traversed the neighborhood, its passage was captured by the same surveillance camera that earlier glimpsed Kyra and Jeffrey's home, offering a vital clue in the ongoing quest for answers. 2 minutes elapsed before a figure cloaked in a hood stepped into view. The grainy quality of the footage obscured his features, yet one detail stood out starkly, which was the white emblem emblazoned on his hoodie. As the investigators scrutinized the recording further, they observed the hooded individual advancing towards the residence shared by Kyra and Jeffrey. With Kyra's recent disappearance casting a shadow of suspicion, it seemed increasingly probable that the hooded figure was none other than Jeffrey himself. With a search warrant in hand, law enforcement officers proceeded to the residence. At initial inspection, the house appeared nondescript, blending into the neighborhood seamlessly. Yet, this superficial impression swiftly dissolved under the meticulous scrutiny of the criminalists. Upon closer examination, the bedroom of the married couple revealed unsettling discoveries, which were a smattering of dark red stains. The wall adjacent to the bed bore a few sinister marks, while the mattress itself was marred by an alarming concentration of around 100 stains. The unmistakable signs of recent tidying and rearrangement in the bedroom only added to the disquieting atmosphere, hinting at efforts to conceal something sinister lurking beneath the surface. Upon spraying luminol, the forensics team revealed a startling scene that the floor carpet illuminated with numerous hidden bloodstains, imperceptible to the naked eye. These traces, originating in the bedroom, extended ominously throughout various parts of the house. Subsequent analysis confirmed the blood to be Kyra's, solidifying investigators' grim suspicions regarding her fate. In addition to scouring the interior of the residence, law enforcement meticulously combed through Jeffrey's vehicle. Though devoid of any visible blood or signs of struggle, a pivotal discovery emerged: a gas station receipt tucked away. Issued just an hour and 40 minutes prior to Kyra's abandoned car being found at the mall parking lot, the receipt bore Jeffrey's card details. Armed with this crucial lead, detectives swiftly journeyed to the gas station in question, where security footage unveiled Jeffrey's actions. The footage depicted him refueling his car before venturing inside to withdraw cash from an ATM, shedding further light on the perplexing sequence of events. The footage offered a fleeting glimpse of Jeffrey's visage, revealing a jacket adorned with a logo reminiscent of the one observed on the figure in earlier recordings. Combining this critical visual evidence with the multitude of findings within the house, authorities swiftly took action, placing the 39-year-old Jeffrey Trevino under arrest. Transported to the police station for interrogation, Jeffrey found himself the sole focus of suspicion. Upon entering the interrogation room, Jeffrey promptly contacted his attorney, who advised him to invoke his right to silence. While the police possessed ample evidence to proceed with charges, the absence of Kyra's body loomed as the most compelling piece of evidence. With no doubts lingering among investigators regarding Kyra's fate, the urgency to locate her remains intensified, knowing that they held the key to solidifying Jeffrey's guilt. Every moment became precious as search teams scoured the surrounding area, hoping to uncover the final resting place of the missing woman. As the investigation unfolded, the once tight-knit community found itself grappling with the shocking revelation of a crime committed within its midst. And amidst it all, Jeffrey Trevino remained a shadowy figure at the center of a storm of suspicion, his fate intertwined with the harrowing truth waiting to be unearthed. In the relentless pursuit of answers, the police, along with Kyra's anguished family and dedicated volunteers, embarked on a painstaking search that stretched across months. As March waned and the snow began to thaw, a discovery at Keller Lake, a mere few miles from Trevino's residence, jolted the investigation into motion. A peculiar bag, abandoned by the roadside, beckoned attention. Hastening to report their findings, volunteers notified the authorities. Within the forsaken bag lay a chilling array of items that had a blood-stained pillow, a discarded shirt, and a bra. The forensic team swiftly tied these artifacts to Kyra, confirming their worst fears as her DNA lingered on the fabric. Despite the persistent chill that clung to the lake's surface, divers braved the frigid waters, their quest for closure undeterred. Yet the depths yielded no trace of Kyra's remains, frustrating the search effort. Repeated scouring of the lake's surroundings, aided by specially trained search dogs, yielded no breakthrough. However, hope flickered anew when, 2.5 months after Kyra's vanishing, a harrowing call reached the St. Paul Police Department. The caller, aghast, reported a grim sight, stating that a potential body adrift in the Mississippi River. Swift action ensued, and what emerged from the murky depths confirmed the worst imaginable: a lifeless form. Stripped of clothing, the body bore the telltale marks of violence, if we get more specific, so it was a severe blow to the forehead and a fractured finger, signaling a brutal end. Despite exhaustive efforts, the shroud of decomposition veiled the precise cause of Kyra's demise. Armed with this grim revelation, investigators meticulously pieced together the events leading to her tragic end. Speculation swirled around a volatile confrontation, ignited by Jeffrey's discovery of romantic exchanges on Kyra's phone. The following morning, Jeffrey meticulously planned his movements, starting with a calculated stop at a gas station. Withdrawing cash from an ATM, he was conscious of the need to cover his tracks. He foresaw the necessity of paying for a cab after abandoning Kyra's car in the mall parking lot. Opting for cash transactions, he aimed to evade detection. Having executed his sinister plan, Jeffrey returned home, seamlessly transitioning into a facade of normalcy. Devoting the remainder of the day to meticulously sanitizing the house, each swipe of the cloth and every concealed stain served as a macabre choreography of deception. His goal was to fabricate an illusion of Kyra's voluntary departure in her car, unscathed and undetected. Yet, despite Jeffrey's meticulous efforts, his intricate web of deceit ultimately unraveled under the watchful gaze of surveillance cameras. His carefully orchestrated charade crumbled in the face of indisputable evidence, exposing the cold reality lurking beneath his veneer of innocence. Jeffrey's downfall was the unraveling of his meticulously woven lies, leaving him trapped in the cold embrace of truth's unforgiving glare. In October 2013, a jury deliberated and found 39-year-old Jeffrey Trevino guilty, albeit concurring with the defense's assertion that his actions lacked premeditation. They attributed the crime to a volatile, impulsive reaction spurred by the revelation of his wife's infidelity. As the courtroom awaited the judge's sentencing, Kyra's grieving family members stepped forward to confront the man who had shattered their lives. Kyra Steger, Kyra's sister, spared no words in condemning Jeffrey's actions. "This monster is a calculated criminal," she declared, her voice laden with anguish. "He deserves no mercy." Marcy, Kyra's mother, echoed the sentiment, her words heavy with sorrow and indignation. "Trevino certainly showed my daughter no mercy," she proclaimed, her gaze piercing. "He dumped my daughter like a piece of trash into the nation's most polluted body of water." In stark contrast, Jay, Kyra's father, expressed a profound sense of anguish that transcended any notion of retribution. "Whatever the punishment," he murmured, his voice trembling with grief, "it will never make up for the pain Trevino has caused our family. No matter how much time you give Mr. Trevino, it's not enough. Never enough." In November 2013, the judge handed down a harsh sentence, a term of 27 and a half years behind bars. While it provided a semblance of justice, the gaping void left by Kyra's absence remained unhealed. Jeffrey Trevino would become eligible for parole in 2031, but for Kyra's loved ones, no sentence could ever erase the profound loss or fill the void left by her absence. Thanks for watching, guys. Steve was with you.